Welcome back, Ranger fans, to the Man Advantage Rangers podcast. This is your host, Jamie. Today is Monday, March 20th. The Rangers are coming off a big weekend against Pittsburgh and Nashville, and we're here to talk about it. So let's go.
That happened.
Okay. All right, guys, we're back here. Again, this is your host, Jamie, the Man Advantage Rangers podcast. Um, so it's been a little bit since we talked, and the Rangers have been on a heater as of late. They made the trade for Kane, did all the cap gymnastics to make sure they could acquire him. A lot of moving parts, a lot of new pieces in the lineup. It's it took a little while. The first couple games, they were giving up tons and tons of chances against defensively. But ever since that third period against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh last Sunday, they've looked like a different team. They look confident. They look like they know their roles. They look comfortable. Gallant changed the lines. He tweaked the line. So he put Kreider with Kane and Trocheck. He's got Mika, Panarin, and Vlad Tarasenko together. He's got the kids together, and then he's got DC, Goodrow, and Tyler Mott. And the lines have just been great. I mean, they lost to Pittsburgh. They got a point out of it, and then they handled Washington. They handled Pittsburgh, and then they destroyed Pittsburgh, and then they destroyed Nashville last night. So they've scored 15 unanswered goals. Um, the defense has really come together quite well. And this is all without Ryan Lindgren. So they're going to be getting him back, which should actually help Adam Fox. So so let's just go through the games. The Washington game, they came out and they sort of set the tone. No Ovechkin for that game for the Caps, so that was tough for them. But the Rangers pretty much were in control the whole game. They did give up 2 goals. It was 4-1. Caps made it 4-3. Um, and then I think it was VC who got the open net goal. And then it was uh, Pittsburgh. Let me go back to the Washington game real fast. Kane had his first goal at home. That was pretty electric. Um, nice moment for Kane. He looks like he's comfortable now because I think he knows his role, and he's on a good line. Trocheck's play has been just phenomenal of late. And Kreider's scoring a lot of goals too. And then the first Pittsburgh game, you know, uh, it was a physical affair. There was, I think, there was just 2 penalties called in that game, but there was a lot of physical play, clean game. Uh, 1-0 Rangers, 1-1, and then 2-1 Rangers, and then uh, 2-2 late in the third, and then Kreider got that go ahead goal with about 8 minutes left in the third, and who got the open net goal? Oh yeah, it was Kreider again. So we get a 4-2 win, and then we come back 2 nights later on a nationally televised game against Pittsburgh again, and they just hammered them 6-0. Uh, I remember Ray Ferraro saying that he thought Pittsburgh actually played a pretty good first period. I thought the same thing. I thought Shesty was really, really good. And I thought the Rangers kind of, you know, weren't the better team. They were fine, but they Pittsburgh definitely had some mojo. But in the second period, it's like they stopped playing, and it was just goal after goal after goal, and they scored 4 goals, and then it's 6-0, and then the third, it was pretty much um, a snooze fest because the game was over. Just a comment on the broadcast. I like Ferraro. He's good in between the glass, whatever. But Sean McDonough is bad. He makes so many mistakes. He kept confusing um, Zibanejad and Panarin on the play where Malkin clearly hit Braden Schneider from behind. He he said that Schneider hit him from behind. It was just bizarre. Um, they make so many mistakes. Um, you really missed the time when you had Doc Emmerich and all his he had the silly remarks, but NBC ran a professional broadcast. This ESPN ABC thing just I don't know. It just it's not working very well for me at least. Um, so anywho, that was a blowout game, and we go to Sunday, and all I kept thinking, well, the Rangers are going to have a letdown because they just came off basically a 3-game series at Pittsburgh. A lot of emotion. Um, Nashville had a couple guys out, Yossi, McDonough, Forsberg, so a lot of their big guns. So you think the Rangers just might take them too lightly? Well, they scored 6 goals in the first period, and basically the game was over. Um, Filipino got back on the board after not scoring for about 17 games. Um, Mika just seems like he scores every game. Kreider got another goal. Keandre Miller had himself a night. Um, 2 goals, 2 assists in the first period. First Ranger to ever do that. Um, so yeah, there's a lot to like in Rangerland. Uh, Going forward, it's pretty interesting because the Rangers are 5 points behind the Devils and 6 points behind Carolina. We have 2 games with Carolina this week, and I think they're back there. I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, and then we're in Florida, I believe, Saturday night. So everybody was thinking it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that the Rangers were going to play the Devils in the first round in that 2-3 matchup, but now it's not certain. The Devils may catch the Canes, and the Rangers may play the Canes in the first round. Canes had an amazing win. I think it was Saturday, um, where I think it was Saturday, where they tied the game against the Flyers late, like 3/10 of a second, and then Sebastian Aho won the game in overtime, like 28 seconds in. It was just Philly had the game won. There was literally 7 seconds left, and the puck is in the neutral zone. Philly takes a penalty. The faceoff goes back in the offensive zone. They win the draw. They get a shot. And then there's a play in front, and Marty Necas scores to tie the game. And then Carolina wins it, like I said, like 28 seconds into the overtime. Um, so you could see a Ranger Carolina first round series, which would be very interesting. Carolina is dealing with a huge injury of Svechnikov. Um, there's a lot. It looks like the teams other than Florida, looks like Florida still has a chance. They're currently winning 2-1 over Detroit, and Pittsburgh is losing 1-0. So that's the really the interesting race about teams getting into the playoffs. There might be some jockeying with the Rangers, the Devils, and the Canes. Obviously, Boston is ensconced with the number 1 seed. Um, but the matchups are to be determined. So that's interesting. We're still not Ranger related, but we still have to just marvel at the season that Connor McDavid is having this year. I think he's at 134 points, most points since Mario in 95-96. So that's almost 30 years ago that there's been a season with this many points. So he's at 58 goals. I think he still has 13 games left. So how high can he go? Um, he's at 58. I think he can get the. I'm sure unless the Oilers need him to the last couple games, unless they need him to play for the playoff lives, I'm sure he'd sit. I know he'd want to play, but I'm sure they'd say, "Oh, let's sit him." Um, I mean, I think he could get 66 goals. He's just feeling it this year. I mean, he's everywhere. As far as his point total, 13 games, 12, 13 games. I mean, he could get another 20 points. Could look at 154 points. That's amazing. I don't know who the last person. I think Mario had like 161 or something in that 95, 96. I think. Again, I'm not looking at it. I'm going by memory, but um, just getting back to the Rangers. So, the team is playing really well right now. I mean, they are peaking at the right time. Ryan Lindgren's coming back. The fourth line has been really good. Uh, the power play, I still think it's a work in progress, but um, I think Gallant's doing an okay job at trying to have two full units get like half the time. Um, Shesty's been good. Yaro's been Halak's been good. Um, I mean, they're a team that you definitely don't want to see. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the East. Devils are good. Canes are good. Of course, Boston, you got Toronto, and you got Tampa. The Islanders still might get in. Um, it's just interesting. This is the best. If you're a hockey fan, this is the best time of year. Um, because from now until the end of the season, in that first round, you have 8 different series going on. You got a lot of hockey. You got really good teams playing each other, and then hopefully the Rangers move on for another deep run like last year because that was great. So I hope you guys are having a good first day of spring. I know it's a little chilly down here in Maryland. Sun was out though, so that's good. Days are getting longer. Um, uh, give the channel a like and subscribe. So much appreciated, and we'll see you guys real soon. Hope you guys have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Go Rangers.